Prior to the 2022 season, the Rockies went out and signed Kris Bryant to a 7-year deal worth $182 million. It was a good move, obviously. It's never necessarily a bad thing to see your owner pay a really good player. Well, actually, ironically, the Rockies owner does not necessarily think doing that is a great thing. At least not doing it a lot, which we'll get to soon. But despite signing Kris Bryant, the Rockies weren't necessarily built to compete with the heavyweights of their division. The Dodgers were going to be great, the Padres were at least built to be great, and hell, even the San Francisco Giants won 107 games out of absolutely nowhere in 2021, so things just did not look that promising for the 2022 Colorado Rockies. Spoiler alert, they weren't. The Rockies went out and won less games than they did the previous year, winning just 68 in 2022. The offense was not good, the pitching was even worse, and the team finished in last place, 43 games behind the 111-win Dodgers. It was pretty ridiculous. It was as if the Rockies and Dodgers weren't even in the same league. The amount of talent on teams like the Dodgers and Padres compared to whatever the hell the Rockies had was just insane and laughable. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Over 70% of my watch time has been from people who aren't subscribed. So hit that button along with the bell for post notifications. Kris Bryant, while producing in the games he played in, didn't play in many games. That was the issue, being limited to just 42 because of injuries. So yeah, it was a nightmare season in Colorado. I mean, again, not that they were expected to be good or somewhat competitive to begin with, but it was bad. Well, we're kind of in the same spot headed into 2023 for the Rockies, except kind of worse when you think about it. The Rockies spent a whopping $20 million this offseason overall. To put that into context, the Chicago Cubs spent over $320 million this past offseason. And there are still 4 more teams that spent more money than the Cubs. The highest spender was the Yankees, spending over $600 million. Next up is the Mets with over $520 million spent, with the Phillies and Padres coming in at number 3 and 4 respectively, both spending over $400 million on player salaries. As far as what the Rockies owner thinks about all that spending, he doesn't like it. At the annual Northern Colorado Friends of Baseball breakfast recently, Rockies owner Dick Monfort said some things. To start, he said this, quote, "We have a lot of talent. A lot of good things are going to happen, and I think they are going to start happening this year, and I think we can play 500 ball," end quote. Wait a minute, so that's your owner openly admitting he doesn't have much faith in this team. Now, obviously, should he? This team isn't necessarily built to win right now and are in the same division as the Dodgers and Padres. It's probably not going to happen. But it's still not a great look to say that, especially when you invested virtually nothing into your roster this offseason. That's where we get to the next thing Dick said. The conversation of the Padres and their big payroll in comparison to the Rockies' payroll was brought up, to which Dick responded, quote, "That puts a lot of pressure on us, but it's not just the Padres, it's the Mets, it's the Phillies. This has been an interesting year. What the Padres are doing, I don't 100% agree with, though I know that our fans probably agree with it. We'll see how it works out," end quote. That is not necessarily a great look. It never is, to see an owner be against spending, but to show no faith in your team, and then on top of that to say that you disagree with the way the Padres are going about building their roster, a team that has spent a lot of money, is just not what you'd want to hear your owner say as a Rockies fan. Kris Bryant clearly isn't enough to save this Rockies team. I'd love to be pleasantly surprised, but it's looking like another long year ahead for baseball fans in Colorado. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.